The alarm screamed through the station like a dying animal. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Yuna dropped her medical tools and ran toward the sound. She had been a medic on Orbital Station 12 for 3 years. She knew every warning sound. This one meant attack. People ran past her in panic. Humans, Velothi, Korans, and dozens of other species pushed through the narrow hallways. Everyone moved toward the escape pods. Yuna moved the other way. She ran toward the medical bay. The station shook hard. Yuna hit the wall and fell. She pushed herself up and kept running. Smoke filled the air now. Something had broken through the outer hull. Raiders. They came sometimes to steal supplies and take prisoners. Yuna reached the medical bay. The door was bent and broken. She squeezed through the gap. Inside, beds were knocked over. Medical equipment lay scattered on the floor. The ceiling had cracked. Sparks fell like rain. She heard a sound. Small, weak, a cry. Yuna moved toward the sound. In the corner of the room, behind a fallen cabinet, she found them. A Velothi child. Very young. Maybe 4 years old in human terms. The child had soft blue fur and big golden eyes filled with tears. The little one shook with fear. Yuna knew this child. Kira. The cub had come to the station 2 weeks ago with their family. The Velothi were a peaceful species. They looked like a mix between a cat and a bear, with long tails and gentle faces. Kira's parents had brought them here for medical treatment. The cub had been born with a weak heart. Now Kira was alone. Yuna did not see the parents anywhere. She knelt down and reached out her hand. Kira, it is me, Yuna. The doctor who gave you the sweet medicine. Remember? Kira's golden eyes looked at her. The cub remembered. Yuna always gave the medicine with honey to make it taste better. Slowly, the small Velothi crawled out from behind the cabinet. Where is Mother? Kira asked in a tiny voice. Yuna's heart broke. She did not know. She could not lie. I do not know, little one. But I will keep you safe. I promise. The station shook again. Harder this time. Part of the ceiling fell. Yuna grabbed Kira and rolled away just in time. The metal crashed where they had been standing. Kira screamed and held onto Yuna's neck with small clawed hands. We have to move, Yuna said. Hold on tight to me. Do not let go. Kira wrapped their arms and legs around Yuna. The cub buried their face in her shoulder. Yuna stood up and started running. The corridor outside was worse now. Fire spread along the walls. Bodies lay on the ground. Yuna did not look at them. She could not help them. She could only save one life right now, the small life clinging to her chest. She heard voices ahead. Rough, angry, the raiders. Yuna turned and ran the other way. Her lungs burned from the smoke. Her eyes watered. Kira coughed against her shoulder. The cub was so small, so fragile. That weak little heart was beating fast with fear. She found a maintenance shaft. The cover was loose. Yuna pulled it open and crawled inside with Kira. The shaft was dark and tight. She moved forward on her elbows, pushing with her knees. Kira stayed silent now. The cub understood. They had to be quiet. They crawled for what felt like forever. Yuna's arms ached. Her knees bled. But she kept moving. She had to get Kira to the escape pods. The shaft ended at another corridor. Yuna kicked the cover open and climbed out. She recognized this area. The escape pod bay was close. Just 2 more turns. She ran. The first turn was clear. The second turn was not. 3 raiders stood in the hallway. They were Grokken. Tall. Gray. Covered in thick scales. They had weapons in their hands. When they saw Yuna, they smiled with sharp teeth. A human and a Velothi cub, one of them said. Both will sell for good money. Yuna backed away. Her hand found a fire extinguisher on the wall. She pulled it free. Stay back, she said. Her voice shook, but her hands did not. The raiders laughed. One of them stepped forward. Yuna swung the extinguisher. It hit the raider in the face. He fell. The other 2 rushed at her. She sprayed them with the foam. They screamed and clawed at their eyes. Yuna ran past them. The escape pod bay was right there. She could see the open pod. Other survivors were inside, waving at her. Something hit her back, hard. She fell forward. Pain exploded through her body. One of the raiders had thrown something, a blade. She felt it in her spine. She could not stand. Her legs would not move, but she could crawl. Yuna pulled herself forward with her arms. Kira had fallen beside her. The cub was crying. Yuna! Yuna! Go! Yuna said. She pushed Kira toward the pod. Go to the pod. Run. No. I stay with you. Yuna heard the raiders behind her. They were coming. She used the last of her strength to grab Kira and throw the cub toward the pod. Someone inside caught the small Valathi. Then Yuna turned to face the raiders. She could not stand. She could not run. But she could block their path. She could give the pod time to close. The pod door started to shut. A raider kicked Yuna in the side. She felt ribs break. Another kicked her head. The world went dark for a moment. Then it came back, blurry and red. Through the closing door, she saw Kira. The cub was screaming her name, reaching out with small blue paws. Someone held Kira back. The door closed. The pod launched. Yuna smiled. Blood filled her mouth. But she smiled. Kira was safe. The raiders beat her. They were angry that they lost the cub. They broke her arms. They broke her legs. They left her on the floor of the burning station. But rescue ships came. The Galactic Patrol had received the distress signal. They arrived too late for many. But not for Yuna. They found her barely alive. Her body was broken. Her brain was swelling. But her heart still beat. They took her to the hospital on Galactic Central. The doctors worked for 16 hours. They saved her body. But her mind was gone. Deep. Far away. In a place no one could reach, Yuna fell into a coma. In the waiting room, a small Valathi cub sat alone. Blue fur matted with tears. Golden eyes watching the door. Waiting. The cub had refused to leave the station, without knowing if the human was alive. A doctor came out. He looked at the small child. "Are you family?" he asked. Kira did not understand the question. Family was blood. Family was species. This human was neither. But the cub said, "Yes, she is my family." The doctor nodded. "She is alive. But she is sleeping. She may sleep for a very long time. Do you understand?" Kira did not fully understand. But the cub nodded anyway. "I will wait," Kira said. "I will wait for her to wake up." The doctor thought the child would forget. The doctor thought someone would take the cub away. The doctor thought this small promise meant nothing. The doctor was wrong. The first year was the hardest. Kira did not understand why Yuna would not wake up. The doctors tried to explain. They used big words like neural damage and cerebral trauma. Kira did not know these words. The cub only knew that Yuna's eyes stayed closed, that her body stayed still, that her voice stayed silent. Kira sat by the bed every day. The hospital staff brought food. They brought blankets. They brought toys. Kira did not play with the toys. The cub just sat there, watching Yuna breathe. "Talk to her," a nurse named Minji said one day. She was human, with kind eyes and gentle hands. "Some doctors believe coma patients can hear. Maybe your voice will help her." Kira did not know what to say. The cub was only 4. What did a 4-year-old know about talking? But that night, when the room was dark and quiet, Kira began to speak. "Hello, Yuna. I am still here. I did not leave. The food here is not good. I miss my mother's cooking. But I will not complain. You saved me. I will wait for you. 40 no. 40 no. 40 no. 40 no. 40 no." From that night on, Kira talked to Yuna every day. The second year came. Kira's parents were found. They had survived the attack but had been taken to a different station. When they came to get their child, Kira refused to leave. "I promised to wait," the cub said. Kira's mother, a tall Valathi named Sora, knelt down to face her child. "Little one, this human may never wake up. You cannot spend your whole life waiting." "She spent her whole body saving me," Kira answered. "I can spend my life waiting." Sora looked at her partner. They did not know what to say. Their child had always been quiet and gentle. Now there was steel in those golden eyes. A determination that seemed impossible for one so young. In the end, they stayed. They moved to Galactic Central. They visited Kira at the hospital every day, but they could not take their child away from that room. Years passed like water through fingers. Kira grew. Valathi cubs grew fast in their early years. By year 3, Kira was no longer small. The soft blue fur thickened. The thin body filled with muscle, but every day, the young Valathi sat by Yuna's bed. The hospital tried to move Yuna to a long-term care facility. Kira would not allow it. "She stays here," Kira said. "I will pay for the room." "You are a child," the administrator said. "You cannot pay." "Then I will work." The hospital staff laughed at first. Then they stopped laughing. Kira was serious. The young Valathi began to help around the hospital, carrying supplies, cleaning floors, doing whatever a young person could do. The staff paid Kira small amounts of money. It was not enough for the room, but it was enough to show that this strange child meant what they said. A wealthy human donor heard the story. His name was Dongwu. He was old and sick, spending his last months in the same hospital. One day, he came to Yuna's room in his floating chair. "Is it true?" he asked Kira. "You have stayed here for 3 years?" Kira nodded. "She saved my life. I will wait for her." Dongwu looked at the sleeping woman. Then he looked at the young Valathi with the determined eyes. "I will pay for her room," he said. "For as long as it takes." Kira bowed low. "Thank you. I will never forget your kindness." Dongwu died 2 months later, but his gift kept coming. He had left instructions in his will. The room would be paid for until Yuna woke up or until the money ran out. There was enough money for 50 years. Year 4 passed. Year 5. Year 6. Kira was no longer a cub. The young Valathi had grown tall and strong. Muscles covered the frame that had once been small and fragile. The weak heart that had brought Kira to the station was strong now. Medicine and time had healed it completely. But Kira still sat by the bed, every day, talking to Yuna. "Hello, Yuna. Today I learned something new. Humans have a thing called autumn. It is when the leaves on trees change color and fall. I have never seen trees, but the nurse showed me pictures. I think you would like autumn. I hope one day we can see it together." The staff changed over the years. New doctors came, old doctors left. But everyone knew about the Valathi who would not leave room 714. Some thought Kira was foolish. Some thought Kira was crazy. Some thought Kira was waiting for something that would never come. Nurse Minji stayed. She had been there from the beginning. She was older now, with gray in her hair. She watched Kira grow, from a scared cub to a quiet, serious adult. "You know," she said one day, "you could have a life out there. Friends, a job, a family of your own. Why do you stay?" Kira thought about the question. It was not the first time someone had asked. It would not be the last. "Humans have another word," Kira said. "Loyalty. I learned it from her. When I was small and scared, she did not leave me. When raiders came, she did not leave me. When I could not run, she carried me. When she could not run, she threw me to safety. She gave everything for me. A stranger. A cub from another species. She did not know my name before that day, but she gave her body to save mine." Kira looked at Yuna's peaceful face. The human had aged a little in her sleep. There were small lines around her eyes. Her hair had grown long, and the nurses kept it braided. "How can I leave her?" Kira continued. "She never left me. Not for 1 second. Even when it cost her everything. So I will never leave her." Not for 1 second. Even if it costs me everything. Minji wiped tears from her eyes. She had heard many things in her years as a nurse, but nothing had touched her heart like these words from this strange, loyal alien. Year 7 began. The doctors said there was almost no hope now. 7 years in a coma was too long. The brain had likely lost too much. Even if Yuna woke up, she would not be the same person. She might not remember anything. She might not be able to think or speak or move. Kira did not care about the doctor's words. Hello, Yuna. Today the sun is very bright. I opened the window so you could feel it. I know you cannot feel it, but I pretend you can. I pretend you are happy. I pretend you will open your eyes soon. Is it wrong to pretend? I do not know, but it makes me feel less alone. Months passed. One morning, Nurse Minji came to check on Yuna. Kira was sleeping in the chair beside the bed, as always. The Velathi's hand rested on Yuna's hand, as always. Minji checked the machines. Heart rate normal. Brain activity low but stable. Everything was the same as yesterday. The same as every day for 7 years. She was about to leave when she heard something. A sound. Soft. Weak. Like a whisper. Minji turned around. Yuna's eyes were open. For the first time in 7 years, Yuna's eyes were open. They moved slowly, looking at the ceiling. Then they moved to the window. Then they moved to the chair beside the bed. They found Kira. Yuna's lips moved. No sound came out. But Minji could read the shape of the word. Who? Yuna did not recognize the tall Velathi sleeping beside her. The last time she had seen Kira, the child had been small enough to carry. Now Kira was larger than most adult humans. Minji's hand shook as she pressed the emergency button. Doctors would come soon. This was a miracle. After 7 years, the patient had woken up. But first, Minji gently shook Kira's shoulder. Wake up, she whispered. Kira. Wake up. She is awake. Golden eyes snapped open. Kira turned to the bed. 2 sets of eyes met. Brown and gold. Human and Velathi. 7 years of waiting had come to an end. Yuna's mind was fog. Thick, heavy fog that swallowed every thought. She could see light. She could see shapes. But nothing made sense. Where was she? Why could she not move? Why did her body feel like stone? A face appeared above her. Human. Female. Older. The face was crying and smiling at the same time. Yuna? Yuna, can you hear me? You are awake. You are finally awake. Yuna tried to speak. Her throat was dry. Her lips cracked. Only a small sound came out. The woman brought water. A small tube went to Yuna's lips. Cool liquid touched her tongue. She swallowed. It hurt. Everything hurt. More faces appeared. Doctors. They shined lights in her eyes. They asked questions. She could not answer. Her voice was gone. Her words were lost somewhere in the fog. One face stayed at the edge of her vision. Large. Blue. Not human. Golden eyes watched her with an emotion she could not name. The creature was crying. Tears rolled down blue fur. Yuna did not know this creature. She was sure she had never seen it before. But it looked at her like she was the most precious thing in the universe. Hours passed. The doctors did tests. They moved her arms and legs. They asked her to blink. 1 blink for yes. 2 blinks for no. Simple questions first. Do you know your name? 1 blink. Yes. Do you know where you are? 2 blinks. No. Do you feel pain? 1 blink. Yes. The doctors gave her medicine. The pain faded a little. The fog in her mind began to thin. Slowly, she started to remember things. Her name was Yuna. She was a medic. She worked on a space station, the station. Something happened on the station. Fire. Screaming. Running. A child. There was a child. Yuna's heart beat faster. The machines beeped loud warnings. The doctors rushed to calm her. Easy, easy. You are safe. Everything is fine. You need to rest. But Yuna could not rest. Where was the child? The small blue one with the scared eyes. Had the child survived? Had the escape pod launched in time? She tried to sit up. Her body would not obey. 7 years of sleep had stolen her strength. Her muscles had wasted away. She was weak as a newborn. The blue creature stepped forward. A large hand, gentle as a feather, touched Yuna's shoulder. "Do not move," a deep voice said. "You will hurt yourself. Please, rest." Yuna looked at the creature, really looked this time. Blue fur, golden eyes, long tail. A Velothi. An adult Velothi. Tall and strong. "The child," Yuna whispered. Her voice was broken and rough. "The cub. Blue fur. Golden eyes. Is the cub safe?" The Velothi made a sound, half laugh, half sob. "The cub is safe," the creature said. "The cub grew up. The cub is standing right here." Yuna did not understand. She looked around the room. She saw doctors. She saw the nurse. She saw this large Velothi. No child. No cub. Then the truth hit her like a falling star. "Kira," she whispered. The Velothi's tears fell faster. "You remember my name. After all this time. You remember." Yuna stared. This could not be right. Kira had been small. Kira had been tiny. Yuna had carried Kira with one arm. Now this Velothi was taller than most humans. Broader. Stronger. "How long?" Yuna asked. "How long did I sleep?" The room went quiet. The doctors looked at each other. The nurse, Minji, stepped forward. "Yuna, you need to stay calm. Your body has been through a lot. We should tell you slowly." "How long?" Yuna asked again. Her voice was stronger now, harder. Kira answered. 7 years. 7 years. The words echoed in Yuna's mind. 7 years. She had lost 7 years. 7 years of her life. Gone like smoke. She had been 32 when she fell asleep. Now she was 39, almost 40. Her family. Did she still have family? Her friends. Where were her friends? Her life. What had happened to her life? "My parents?" she asked. Minji's face told her the answer before the words came. "They passed away, Yuna. 4 years ago. An illness. They visited you every week until the end. They never stopped hoping." Yuna closed her eyes. Tears leaked from beneath her lids. Her mother. Her father. Gone. She had not been there. She had not said goodbye. She had been sleeping while they died. A warm hand held hers. Large, soft, covered in fur. "I am sorry," Kira said. "I am so sorry. I was with them at the end. They asked me to tell you they loved you. They said they were proud of you. They said you were a hero." Yuna opened her eyes. This stranger who was not a stranger sat beside her bed. This adult who had been a child. This Velothi who had waited 7 years. "Why are you here?" Yuna asked. "Why are you still here?" Kira tilted their head. "Where else would I be?" "Anywhere. You should be living your life. You are young. You should be with your family, your people. Not sitting in a hospital watching an old woman sleep." Kira's golden eyes hardened. "You are not an old woman, and you are my family. I am a stranger. I held you for 1 hour, 7 years ago. That does not make us family. You saved my life. Any doctor would have done the same." "No." Kira's voice was firm. "Other people ran to save themselves. Other people did not turn back. You did. You found me when I was alone and scared. You carried me when I could not walk. You protected me with your body. You threw me to safety and faced death so I could live. That is not what a stranger does. That is what family does." Yuna wanted to argue. She wanted to tell this foolish young Velothi to go away. To live. To stop wasting time on a broken human. But when she looked into those golden eyes, she saw something that stole her words. She saw love. Pure. Simple. Unconditional. The kind of love she had seen in her mother's eyes. The kind of love she thought she would never see again. "You waited 7 years," she said. It was not a question. "I would have waited 70. What if I never woke up? Then I would have sat here until I died. That is foolish. Humans have a word for it. Loyalty. I learned it from you." Yuna's tears came faster now. She could not stop them. This alien, this beautiful, stubborn alien, had given up 7 years of life to sit beside a sleeping stranger. "I do not deserve this," she whispered. Kira leaned closer. Their foreheads touched. It was a Velothi gesture. The deepest form of connection. Reserved only for family. "You deserve everything," Kira said. "You deserve the stars. You deserve the moon. You deserve every good thing in this universe. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure you get them." The doctors and nurses quietly left the room. This moment was not for them. This moment belonged only to the human and the Velothi. To the woman who had sacrificed everything, and the child who had waited forever. For a long time, they stayed like that. Forehead to forehead. Hand in hand. Two souls who had found each other in the darkness. Finally, Yuna spoke. "I do not know how to be awake. I do not know how to live in this new world. Everything I knew is gone." Kira pulled back and smiled. It was the first smile Yuna had seen on that adult face. But she recognized it. It was the same smile the cub had given her 7 years ago, when she had offered medicine with honey. "Then we will learn together," Kira said. "One day at a time. I have waited 7 years for this. I can wait a little longer for you to find your feet." Yuna looked at this person who had been a stranger and become family. This person who had taught her the meaning of loyalty. She squeezed Kira's hand. "Okay," she said. Together. Recovery was slow and painful. Yuna's body had forgotten how to work. Her muscles had turned to soft, useless things. Her bones had grown weak. Every movement cost her energy she did not have. The doctors made a plan. Physical therapy every day. Exercises for her arms, her legs, her hands. Simple things at first. Lifting a finger, bending a knee, turning her head. Things a baby could do without thinking. Yuna cried the first time she could not hold a cup of water. It fell from her shaking hand and spilled across the bed. Such a small thing. Such a simple thing. And she could not do it. Kira was there. Kira was always there. "It is okay," the Velothi said, cleaning up the water. "Try again tomorrow. You will get stronger." "I was strong," Yuna said through her tears. "I was a medic. I saved lives. I ran through fire. Now I cannot hold a cup. You will hold a cup again. You will hold many cups. You will run again. You will save lives again. I know this. Life. Life. How do you know?" Kira's golden eyes were soft. "Because you are the strongest person I have ever known. A cup will not defeat you." Day after day, Yuna fought her broken body. She did the exercises. She pushed through the pain. She cursed and cried and wanted to give up. But every time she looked at Kira, she found the strength to try again. Weeks passed. Small victories came. She could sit up alone. She could feed herself. She could speak without her voice cracking. Each victory was a mountain climbed. Between exercises, Kira told Yuna about the 7 years she had missed. The galaxy had changed. New treaties had been signed. Old wars had ended. New wars had begun. Technology had moved forward. Ships were faster. Weapons were stronger. Medicine was better. "That is why you woke up," Kira explained. New treatment. A doctor on the outer rim discovered a way to heal damaged brains. "We got you into the program." It took 2 years of treatments, but it worked. Yuna listened to all of it. She tried to understand this new world, but it felt like learning about a foreign country she had never visited. One day, She asked the question that had been sitting in her chest like a stone. What about your life, Kira? What did you give up to stay here? Kira looked away. For the first time, the Velothi seemed uncomfortable. It does not matter. It matters to me. Silence stretched between them. Finally, Kira spoke. I did not finish my education. Velothi are supposed to study until we are 12 in human years. I stopped at 7. I worked at the hospital instead. Cleaning. Carrying. Whatever they needed. You could have studied while you waited. I tried. I could not focus. My mind was always on you. Every time a machine beeped wrong, I thought you were dying. Every time a doctor frowned, I thought it was bad news. I could not think about mathematics when your heart might stop. Yuna's chest hurt. Not from her injuries, from something deeper. What else? She asked. Kira's ears flattened. A sign of shame in Velothi culture. I was supposed to take over my father's business. He owns a trading company. I was meant to learn from him. Take his place when he retired. But I told him no. I told him to give the company to my cousin instead. Your inheritance. You gave up your inheritance. It is just money. Just things. You cannot hold money when you are scared. You cannot hug things when you are lonely. Yuna felt tears coming again. She was so tired of crying. But she could not stop. There is more, Kira said quietly. There was someone. A Velothi my age. We grew up together. Our families wanted us to bond. To become partners. You had a love? I had a possibility. She waited for me for 3 years. Then she asked me to choose. Her. Or you. Kira looked at Yuna with those golden eyes. I chose you. I chose you. The weight of it crushed Yuna. Education, inheritance, love. Kira had given up everything. For her. For a sleeping stranger. Why? She whispered. I am just one human. One life. Why throw away everything for me? Kira moved closer. Took Yuna's hands. The Velothi's grip was strong but gentle. When I was small, I thought humans were weak. Everyone said so. Humans have no claws, no fur, no strong bones. Humans break easily. Humans die easily. I believed this. Kira paused, collecting thoughts. Then the attack came. Everyone ran. Even Velothi ran. Even Korans with their hard shells ran. Everyone tried to save themselves. But not you. You ran toward the danger. You found a cub that was not yours. A species that was not yours. And you gave your body to save that cub. Yuna remembered fragments. The smoke. The fear. The tiny body against her chest. That day, I learned what strength really means. Kira continued. It is not about claws or fur or bones. It is about the heart. Your heart was stronger than anyone I have ever met. You showed me what humans truly are. Not weak. Not small. But brave beyond all reason. Kira lifted Yuna's hand and pressed it against the Velathi's chest. Beneath the fur, Yuna felt a heartbeat. Strong. Steady. Alive. This heart beats because of you. Every beat is yours. I gave up nothing, Yuna. I simply paid a debt that can never be fully paid. Yuna could not speak. What words could match this? What response could be enough? So she did the only thing she could. She pulled Kira close and held the Velothi tight. Her weak arms shook with the effort. But she did not let go. You foolish, wonderful creature, she whispered into blue fur. I do not deserve you. You keep saying that, and I will keep proving you wrong. They held each other for a long time. Outside, nurses walked past the room. They saw through the window and smiled. The whole hospital knew this story by now. The human and the Velothi. The sacrifice and the loyalty. It had become a legend. When they finally pulled apart, Yuna made a decision. I need to meet your parents, she said. Kira's eyes widened. My parents? They raised you. They let you stay here for 7 years. They must be extraordinary people. I want to thank them. A smile spread across Kira's face. Wide and bright. They will love you. My mother especially. She has been asking to meet you since you woke up. Then let us not make her wait longer. That evening, Kira's parents came to the hospital. Sora, the mother, was tall and elegant with pale blue fur. Jinho, the father, was shorter and rounder with darker fur and kind eyes. They brought food. Velothi dishes that Kira loved. And something special for Yuna. A human meal. Carefully prepared. Rice and vegetables and meat. Made the way humans on Galactic Central liked it. We are not good at human cooking, Sora admitted. But we tried. Yuna tasted the food. It was not perfect. The rice was a little sticky. The meat was a little bland. But it was the most delicious meal she had ever eaten. Thank you, she said. For the food. For raising such an amazing child. For letting Kira stay with me all these years. Thank you for everything. Jinho shook his head. We did not let Kira stay. We tried to take our child home many times. Kira refused. Our child has a will stronger than starship metal. We could not change that will. We could only support it. Your child gave up so much, Yuna said. Education, business, love, all for me. Sora reached out and took Yuna's hand. Her fur was soft as clouds. You gave up more, she said. You gave up your body. Your years. Your parents. All for our child. Whatever Kira sacrificed, it is small compared to what you gave. Yuna started to argue, but Jinho raised a hand. There is no debt between families, he said. Only love. You are our family now, Yuna. Our child has chosen you. That means we have chosen you too. Do you understand? Yuna looked at these aliens. These people, from a different world, a different species, a different everything. They looked at her with warmth, with acceptance, with love. She had lost her parents. She had lost her old life. She had lost 7 years. But she had gained something too. A family she never expected. A bond stronger than blood. I understand, she said. Thank you for accepting me. Sora pulled her into a hug. Velothi hugs were different. More fur. More warmth. More everything. Welcome to the family, daughter, Sora whispered. And for the first time since waking up, Yuna felt like she had come home. 3 months after waking, Yuna took her first steps. They were small steps. Weak steps. She held onto Kira's arm like a child learning to walk. But they were steps. Real steps. Her own steps. The nurses cheered. The doctors smiled. Kira cried. You did it, the Velothi said. I knew you could do it. Yuna looked down at her feet. These strange, thin feet that had carried her through fire 7 years ago. They had forgotten how to walk. Now, they were remembering, one step at a time, she said. That is what you told me. I learned it from human doctors. They say it to patients all the time. One step at a time. One day at a time. Small progress is still progress. Yuna laughed. It hurt her weak chest. But she laughed anyway. When did you become so wise? I had 7 years with nothing to do but think. I became very wise and very bored. Each day brought more progress. Walking became easier. Talking became natural. Yuna began to feel like herself again. Not the old self. That person was gone. Lost in 7 years of sleep, but a new self. Stronger in some ways, weaker in others, different, but alive. News of her story spread. It started small. A reporter from Galactic Central heard about the human who woke up after 7 years. Then the reporter heard about the Velothi who waited. The story was too good to stay quiet. Within weeks, everyone knew. Humans across the galaxy shared the tale. A medic who sacrificed herself. A cub who never left her side. 7 years of loyal waiting. It was the kind of story that made people cry. The attention was uncomfortable. Cameras followed Yuna when she left the hospital. Reporters shouted questions. People she had never met wanted to shake her hand, touch her shoulder, tell her she was a hero. "I am not a hero," she told Kira one night. "I am just a medic who got lucky." "You are wrong," Kira said. "But that is okay. Heroes never think they are heroes. That is what makes them heroes." Officials wanted to honor Yuna. The Galactic Council offered her a medal. The Human Coalition wanted to name a hospital after her. The Velothi homeworld invited her to receive their highest civilian honor. Yuna refused all of it. "I do not want medals," she said. "I do not want my name on buildings. I just want to live quietly." Is that too much to ask? It was too much to ask. The story had grown beyond her control. People needed heroes. People needed hope. And in a galaxy full of war and fear and darkness, the tale of Yuna and Kira was a light. A documentary crew came to the hospital. They wanted to tell the full story. They interviewed the doctors, the nurses, Kira's parents. They showed old footage from the station attack. They recreated scenes with actors. They asked Kira one question that echoed across the galaxy. "Why did you stay? For 7 years, why did you stay?" The cameras focused on Kira's face. The adult Velothi, who had been a frightened cub. The loyal guardian who had given up everything. Kira's answer was simple. "She never left me. So I never left her." Those words became famous. They spread to every corner of known space. Politicians quoted them in speeches. Teachers shared them in schools. Parents told them to children as bedtime stories. Yuna watched the documentary with Kira in her hospital room. When those words appeared on screen, she took Kira's hand. "You made me famous by accident," she said. "I made you famous because you deserve it. The galaxy should know what humans are capable of." "What humans are capable of? I nearly died." "You nearly died saving a child who was not yours. You fought raiders with a fire extinguisher. You crawled toward death so that life could escape. That is what humans are capable of. That is what the galaxy needed to see." Yuna thought about her species. Humans were young in the galactic community. Only 200 years since first contact. Many species looked down on them. Weak bodies. Short lives. Primitive technology. Humans were often treated as lesser beings. But this story changed something. Other species began to look at humans differently. Not as weak creatures to pity, but as brave souls who would face any danger for the innocent. 6 months after waking, Yuna left the hospital. She was not fully healed. She might never be fully healed, but she was strong enough to live outside those white walls. Kira's family had prepared a home for her, a small apartment near their house on Galactic Central. Close enough to visit every day, far enough to have privacy. The first night in her new home, Yuna sat by the window and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there was the station where everything had changed. Somewhere out there was the spot where she had fallen. Kira found her sitting in the dark. "Cannot sleep?" the Velothi asked. "I slept for 7 years. I think I have had enough sleep for one lifetime." Kira sat beside her. They looked at the stars together. "What will you do now?" Kira asked. Yuna had thought about this question many times. She could not go back to being a station medic. Her body was not strong enough. Her license had expired. The world had moved on. "I think I will teach," she said. "Medical training. There are always young people who want to save lives. I can show them how." "That is a good idea. You were always good at explaining things. You explained medicine to me with honey." Yuna smiled at the memory. The scared cub. The sweet medicine. The beginning of everything. "What about you?" she asked Kira. "What will you do now that you do not have to sit in a hospital?" Kira's tail swayed thoughtfully. "I do not know. For 7 years, my only purpose was waiting for you. Now, that purpose is complete. I feel strange. Empty. You could go back to school, finish your education. Perhaps, you could help with your father's business. Your cousin might share. Perhaps, you could find that Velothi woman, see if she is still available." Kira made a sound, soft and low, a Velothi laugh. "She is bonded now. To someone else. Happy, I hear. I'm glad for her. I am sorry. Do not be." I made my choice. I do not regret it. They sat in comfortable silence. The stars turned slowly above them. Somewhere, ships flew between worlds. Somewhere, people were being born and dying. Life continued, as it always did. I have an idea, Yuna said. Tell me. Stay with me. Help me build my teaching program. You know the hospital better than anyone. You know the patients, the staff, the systems. Together, we could create something good. Kira's golden eyes widened. You want me to work with you? I want you to be my partner, my family. We have wasted enough time apart. You in a chair, me in a bed. Now we can be together properly. Walking, talking, living. The Velathi's ears perked up. A sign of joy. I would like that, Kira said. I would like that very much. Yuna reached out and took Kira's hand. The same hand that had held hers for 7 years. The same hand that had never let go. Then it is decided. We start tomorrow. They stayed by the window until sunrise. 2 souls, bound by sacrifice and loyalty. A human and a Velathi. A medic and the cub she saved. Different in every way that did not matter. The same in every way that did. The galaxy would tell their story for generations. About the human who ran toward danger. About the Velathi who waded through time. About the bond that proved love has no species. But for Yuna and Kira, the story was simple. She never left me, so I never left her. And they never would.